Welcome to the key to all of this. We are back again on this beautiful Monday with another episode, and this week we are tackling and smooching this beautiful general of the rebellion, Admiral Ackbar. What's up, Tim?
How you doing?
Doing great. Doing
Good.
very well.
Not as good as Admiral Ackbar, because he is a living, well, not anymore, a legend. A legend of yesteryear, because he was very unceremoniously killed in Episode 8. How do you feel, first of all, about the death of Admiral Ackbar?
So you and I may have talked about this. Maybe not, because we've talked about 1,000 things in Star Wars and who knows what could have been said. But if you're going to kill off a character of that magnitude, give him a good way out. Don't have him in the background and then you blink real quick and then he's gone because a wall blew up on your ship.
Exploding out like the alien in Alien.
Yeah, I always thought that he should have taken over Amilyn Holdo's death. I know that the voice actor passed away, so you have to kill off the character, whatever. But still, it's easy enough for him just to be like, here I go. And he does it. Like, everyone loves Admiral Ackbar, and to just kill him off screen, it's poor.
I completely agree.
Poor move.
Yeah, they should have definitely found a new voice actor for him. And
they did have new voice actors. I mean, you and I played Star Wars Battlefront. That's a different voice actor for...
and you would never know.
Star Wars Battlefront 1.
Exactly like Admiral Ackbar.
Yeah. I don't like it.
But, I think that even though he died, his reputation very much preceded his untimely demise, because I think even though the Battle of... the second Death Star was, as his phrase, a trap, that he, turned the tide of the battle around, and very successfully, and, is a large part of the victory there.
And I love that I'm reading this book right now, but I'm just about done with Shadows of the Empire, which was supposed to take place immediately after Empire Strikes Back, but it follows the Empire giving the Bothans the plans for the second Death Star to make them think that they stole it, which it's a trap.
Yeah.
And it's great. Prince Shizor and Vader and everyone are all trying to convince the rebellion that they snuck in and they stole these plans. And that just makes the whole line with Ackbar just so much more of a precious line, because now I know the backstory, even though it's no longer canon. But
it's also one of the other things I learned is that his now off-quoted line, "It's a trap," it was originally "It's a trick." And not "It's a trap," and then they changed it to "It's a trap."
I hate it.
It's a trick. It's a hoe.
Oh, it's a trick. See?
They were
he shows his lobster claws.
One of the things I also love, and you don't get too much of this in the new film series, but I just love background characters in the original trilogy, because you never know what they're doing. And I think one of the Mon Calamari is just in the background. You can watch this one actor try to push these buttons all day, and he just never does. And it's so enjoyable to watch. Every time I watch the scenes involving Admiral Ackbar, yes, that's great, but also in the background there's a little hidden gem.
And he's just doing this, not even close to the buttons.
Yeah, it's so great.
What I really loved about getting information about this episode was looking up kind of the practical effects stuff of it.
Mm-hmm.
So while Akbar had someone inside and they did a remote control thing with the eyes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of the scenes, he's cut off at the waist because they're actually using someone to puppeteer his head, and the person is inside his chest cavity doing everything so that they could make
Oh,
sure that his
wow.
lines looked more realistic.
Well, they did a great job because I definitely did not know that he didn't have a lower half until
Well, they
now.
in a lot of the scenes they'll show that
Yeah.
he doesn't have the lower half, but in a lot of scenes he does. They have a full person in that
Mm-hmm.
inside all of the suit and the head. They're wearing the head and everything, and then they have like the eyes and the mouth kind of remote controlled. But for his actual like speaking lines, they have someone puppeteering so that it
That's
looks more
so
realistic.
cool. I know. I had no idea about that.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
nuts.
just knew that the Mon Calamari ships, their star cruisers, make up like the bulk of the Alliance's ships, the Rebel
Hmm.
Alliance's
I
ships, and
didn't
which
know
I
that.
was like, oh man, that's really impressive. Like, we always kind of associate like, the rebels with just like a bunch of humans.
X wings, Y
Yeah,
wings. Yeah.
exactly. But the real majority of it is just Mon Calamari ships.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that. And you and I are in very different parts of the Clone Wars
mm,
because we can all agree we love the Clone Wars, but it's a little difficult to get through. It's
yes,
a
it's a
lot
little
of
tough.
fluff,
Mm.
and so I haven't gotten to the battle of
Mon
Mon Cala
Cala, yeah.
yet. Have you gotten there?
Not really, no. I
Okay,
just know
I've
about it.
seen a lot of clips,
Yeah.
but I haven't gotten to it yet. But I'm very looking forward to that
Hmm.
because it's more Akbar.
Yeah, I mean, the Empire was like all about subjugating them, and like I feel like that's most of the Empire's missteps is just like subjugating Wookiees or subjugating Mon Calamari. It's like they end up causing their own demise by just like kind of stepping too far.
Hmm.
But I also love that Akbar returns with like, you know, with to stand by uh, Princess Leia uh, and join the resistance too.
Hmm.
Must be very frustrating to like fight two huge wars in your life, but it makes sense. They are very the Mon Cala Mari are very true to their word.
Hmm. Yeah, I was reading through, and there was a ton of wars that he was involved in.
Mm.
I don't know if they were comic books or, I believe that it's all canon, but yeah, he was involved in a lot. And I guess a good story arc for Akbar is he returns and he returns the favor for Leia, even
Mm.
though it's still like they're gonna kill you too, so you kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
join Leia. Um, so getting back to the special effects of this,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it looks great. So
Yeah.
apparently, George Lucas gave the director of Return of the Jedi full reign to pick between like throughout like 50 different aliens on which one Akbar was going to be, and they picked what he essentially what he ended up becoming. I think his body was a little different. He had like a hunchback and stuff, and they just kept calling him Calamari Man, and they didn't think that the movie was going to look good with actual Akbar in
Mm-hmm.
it. So do look this up real quick. But Crix Madine, Crixmadine, he is in the room with Akbar in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should recognize him. Apparently, they did all of Akbar's lines again with this actor in case Ackbar didn't look good enough in the movie, and they were going
No,
to replace him
really.
with this character. Yeah.
That's crazy. So they pulled a full Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future with
Mm-hmm.
with Crix Medine instead.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I can't imagine it. I'm glad they didn't go with. I mean, poor
Oh yeah,
actor who played Crix Medine, but yeah, I can't
because we
imagine.
don't like him.
We don't like him at all.
No,
Um,
he's not the key to all of this. Ackbar is.
Ackbar definitely is. Yeah, and I love that they finally introduced a leader that wasn't a human in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like about
Mm-hmm.
time, you know. Of course, you have like Nine Nub, who's just
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, also has an awesome backstory, but you know, to give a leadership role to not like an old white man who's like, "You're a good fighter." Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
well, start our base attack here. To
I
have
like that
it,
you're just still doing
I
Ackbar's
can't
voice.
help it. He's the definition of leader voice.
Of
So
old white man leader voice.
exactly. Yeah,
Did you, speaking of leader voice, did you know that Eric Bauersfeld, who did Ackbar, also voiced Bib Fortuna?
me wanna wanga?
Yeah,
Really?
that's what the internet says.
That's amazing. Um, I mean, I don't know how you audition for the role of Admiral Ackbar, except pretend like you're like the fish version of Gordon's Fisherman. Like I don't know, I don't know how you pulled it off, but he definitely did. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The only other person that I know of that kind of does dual duty like that is Jeremy Bullock, who played
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. And then he
Yeah.
played an unnamed Imperial officer who is holding Leia in the Cloud City, and then he
Hmm.
is also in Episode 3. He plays one of the co-pilots, bringing Bail Organa back to Coruscant, I think.
Hmm. I feel like they just kind of started throwing everyone into different parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, like, um, Matt Wood played Bib Fortuna in episode 1 and the Book of Boba Fett, but he also did.
Did he do the voice at some point, or
I don't know if he did the voice, but he did the voice of General Grievous.
yes, that's it. Yeah.
So played Bib Fortuna, voiced General Grievous, but I think he played a bunch of other characters
Mm-hmm.
too. But yeah, oh yeah, he played Bib Fortuna, but the voice was by someone else. But yeah, I feel like as they got going, it was like, let's throw everyone into everything. I mean, Mark Hamill does multiple voices throughout Star Wars now,
Yeah.
with the bartender in The Mandalorian
Mm-hmm.
and that little
Little
character
guy
feeding
trying to
the coins
into
in
BB-8.
BB-8.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Um, one thing that really annoyed me that I read, and we can't really get annoyed because it was our father, George Lucas, who did this, but apparently when they did Revenge of the Sith, there was a senator, Mina Tills, that was a Mon Calamari. And George loved so much how the character looked and how the animatronics were that he wanted to redo Return of the Jedi and redo Admiral Ackbar's scenes with the new animatronic.
Oh my god. So glad he didn't. Because I just think it's
Yeah.
perfect the way it is. You know.
Mm-hmm. And Admiral Ackbar, everyone says that it's one of those things where it's like everyone loved Boba Fett, but he had what, maybe 30 seconds of screen time and like 5 lines or something. Do you know how much scream time? Do you know how much scream time? Do you know how much screen time Admiral Ackbar had across all the movies total?
I would maybe say like 45 seconds.
A little higher, actually a lot higher, but 3 minutes and 30
Okay.
seconds,
Okay.
which
I definitely
is
lowballed
interesting
it.
because he only has 14 lines in Return of the Jedi, but he's this cultural phenomenon of, it's a trap,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone just
Our
loves him
lasers
to the
can't
point
deflect.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when he shows up in and dies in The Last Jedi,
Hmm.
everyone just mourns his death and is like pissed that he's gone. Is pissed a bad word?
No, no, I think it's right. Pissed.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks.
PO'd.
I'm ticked. Um, but yeah, that was like the last thing with Admiral Ackbar that I thought was interesting is just he's not in the movies much and he doesn't have much for lines, but we just have this love for him. I mean, with a lot of the characters that you don't see much, but yeah, that was
Well,
the last thing I had.
I'm a huge fan of Star Tours and in Disneyland, Disney World, and I at least
Mm,
know that before they changed the ride, that there was always two like Mon Calamari like always overlooking like some sort of like a readout, some sort of like deck on a ship,
mm.
like in the distance, which I always thought was really cool.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
just because that made it official that we were in like a cool Star Cruiser, you know.
yeah. And you telling me that most of the ships of the rebellion were Mon Calamari ships. It's like it makes sense.
Yeah,
We need to see more of them. And we did end up seeing Admiral Akbar's son in Rise of Skywalker, I believe. So hopefully he gets a
yeah,
standalone trilogy.
I would love that. I would love them to
He's the
see just
lead.
it, just to see like a rom com with
Mhm.
just a fully Mon Calamari rom com cast. That's what I'm looking for.
Me too.
Yeah.
Say, Tim, what are we talking about next episode?
Oh, it is a doozy. Um, it's a classic case of druthers. We're talking about whether or not clone troopers or stormtroopers or first order troopers are the best, essentially, uh,
Yeah.
and kind of discussing which type of situations they'd be. You choose one over the other. So it's going to be real battle royale for either clones or conscription troops or orphans taken from the First Order and turned into
Hmm.
First Order stormtroopers. So the debate goes on, and it's going to be a real fight to the finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm
yeah,
excited for it.
yeah. I think we could all bring the same zeal that Admiral Ackbar brought to his life to that as well. It's been a pleasure talking with you about him. And suddenly,
Perfect.
I don't want to have any squid or fish for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Also, I feel the same.
Yeah. Well, may the force be with you, Dylan.
And also with you, Timothy,
I've been waiting for you so long to say that to me.
to say your full name.
Timothy.